History bygone present. Didda, the mysterious queen of Kashmir. The Rajatarangini, a book in Sanskrit composed by writer Kalhana in the 12th century, fortunately gives us the complete history of that time Kashmir and also about Queen Didda. During 924 CE to 1003 CE, Kashmir was ruled by Queen Didda, who was sometimes referred to as the Catherine of Kashmir. Didda was the granddaughter of Bhima Shahi of Kabul and the daughter of Simha Raja, the ruler of Lohara, a place between Kashmir and western Punjab. Back in history, at a place Darwa Bhisara's king, Nara had a son named Narvahana, who further had a son named Fulha. Fulha had a son Sarthavana, whose son was Chandana. The king Chandana had two sons, Gopala and Sinraja. Sinraja had several children, and one of the children was Dida. Around 949 to 950 CE, the neighboring countries and kingdoms of Kashmir was in turmoil. The state's Hindu politics was seeing evidence of decline. The Dhamras, barbaric landlords, and hired soldiers changed alliances and frequently rebelled. King Kashmegha was now looking for political legitimacy for his rule and offered to marry the disabled Dida, who was 26-year-old at that time. The wedding took place in 950 CE and Dida came to Kashmir to beautiful Srinagar. The marriage thus united the kingdom of Lohara, currently in Puch district, with that of her husband. King Kashmegupta was a raunchy king who loved hunting, alcohol, and women. Because of his addictions, he gradually lost control over the state's affairs, which opened the door for queens to take over and manage affairs. The circumstances helped Rita to increase her area of influence, and as a consequence, she overpowered her weakened husband. Didda Rani was very intelligent and influential queen. The evidence can be seen on the bronze coin of Kashmegupta, which are in Sharda script, means Dida Kashmegupta Deva. After her husband died due to fever in 958 AD, she acted as regent queen for his young son Abhimanyu Deva. Queen Dida ruled Kashmir as a regent and sole ruler for nearly 22 years. When her son Abhimanyu Deva died, Dida again became regent for her grandson Bhima Gupta. She faced opposition from Keshava Gupta's sister's son Mahiman and Patala. They gathered many allies, especially Brahmins from Lalita Adityapur. The army of enemy was glittering weapons came charging in the vicinity of temple in Pampore, eager to fight. But the political condition and fate turned the tide against her, and her grandson died due to mysterious circumstances. This distressing turning point made Queen Dida the sole ruler of Kashmir. Her first priority was to get rid of troublesome ministers and royalties. She was on the verge of losing power, but after asserting her position with the help of others, including those she bribed, Dida showed cruelty in executing not just the rebellious but also their families. She was adopting her tactics to fit the nobles, many strategies by using the four ancient skills of Arthashastra Sama, Dama, Danda, and Bheda. Dida sent her son to Srinagar, where she managed to bribe or force the rebellious Brahmins. During the negotiations, she was able to bribe some of the supporters, which including Yashodhara, the warrior, and later sent him to the control the ruler of neighboring Shahi kingdoms. The Yashodhara won and returned, expecting a hero's welcome, but rather Dida tried to arrest him. Dida has become insecure as a result of his win. Yashodhara and his alliance revolted against the queen. This was possibly Dida's most difficult revolt. but she was able to put it down with the help of her ministers Navaghana and Rakha. She brutally executed some of the rebellious, including her husband's relatives, but forgave those she felt could help her. Later, for the sake of her late son, the queen built Abhimanyu Pura and an image of God named Abhimanyu Swami. She then traveled to Didapura and built a temple and an image of divinity named Didavami. She also constructed a huge sarai for Kashmiris and her own countrymen. She constructed a dignity named Sinoswami after her father's name. She constructed temples at junction of Vitasta and Sindhu rivers to make the area more divine. She built 64 god images in altogether. She rebuilt and restored several damaged temples. According to Kalhan, when Abhimanyu died in 972 CE, his newborn son Nandigupta ascended to the throne. Her desire for total control went uncontrolled, and she killed Nandigupta by witchcraft in 973 CE. And in 973 CE, she put her other grandson Tribhuwana on the throne, but later killed him in the same manner in 1975 CE. Finally, in 975 CE, she established her own last grandson Bhima Gupta on the throne. Bhima Gupta, despite his age, was a smart king. He had grown suspicious of his grandmother as he had come to understand her tactics. As her desire for full power grew, she arranged for Bhimagupta to be brutally murdered and then took complete control of the kingdom. Meantime, she would feel alone and leaned on lover called Tunga to feel secure. When Didda took full control of the throne, she appointed Tunga as her prime minister. Tunga was raised above all the ministers and nobles and became insolent and cruel towards all suspect of malcontent against himself and the Queen Didda. Kalhan, in his book Rajatarangini, has often described her as a lady with suspicious but powerful character in the history of Kashmir. Realizing fully well that she was aging and nobody from her own dynasty was living to succeed her, she soon started looking for her own successor, and her choice narrowed down to Samgrama Maharaja, the son of her brother Udayaraja. Samgrama Raja was appointed Yuvraj by Queen Didda. She died in 1003 AD and Samgrama Raja became the king. Didda Rani's ability to be at the center of affairs for such a long period demonstrated her administrative competencies and deep insight of the politics of her time. She brought much needed stability to the state. Most of her energies were utilized to repel the attacks of invaders, quash the public revolts, and crush the rebellions. It needed an iron fist and courage, so she therefore mixed brutality and ruthlessness as an act of diplomacy to the advantage of the state. Her reign is not matched by any of the contemporary ruler of her time. Her reign is remembered as the most significant period of Kashmiri history. At last, thanks for watching my videos. Kindly like and subscribe my channel History Bygone.